Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Fan here, and it is Monday. It's time for some horror movie news. Now I'm not up to date on my horror video games. I'm just not much of a gamer. However, there's one that's really interesting to me. It comes out for the PS4 called Until Dawn. Apparently, it's a slasher game, but it's like old school slasher. And apparently, there's like 8 kids you can control. Teens, I guess I shouldn't say kids. That'd be the game I'm waiting on, just for you getting kids hacked in. But I know there's 8 teens, and but I guess there are like hundreds of like fucking options here. Like there's a bunch of little choices throughout the game, and your goal is to try to keep everybody alive, like by your choices. However, of course, it's almost impossible to keep people alive in a slasher movie or game, as the case may be in this one. And yeah, so like literally, you're making all these choices and everything. Like the possibilities are endless. So I mean, I guess there's like a shit ton of like endings on this game. So I don't know, something like that I can get myself into. I'm not gonna lie, because it's straight up like horror. Like I don't know, like Resident Evil movies are alright. The games are just shit because it's just they went to. I mean, I didn't really care for them back when they were survival horror, anyways. But now they're just straight up action packed, and I just don't really give a fuck. So, but yeah, Until Dawn don't seem too shabby. Of course, we had some very sad news. I don't know why I didn't just open with this one. This is actually kind of the entire thing. But Betsy Palmer, who best known as Mrs. Voorhees, died over the weekend. She was like 88 years old. So very sad. But the good thing is, I mean, she did die of old age. Like, it just, natural causes or whatever. So, that's, if there's any silver lining there, that'd be it right there. So... but yeah, it's gonna suck. The original Mrs. Voorhees gone. Instead of Friday 13th, so they did an interview, like, because you know what I hate about like a movie like Friday 13th that's coming out, the new one, is like any little piece of information, like no matter how minute it may be, like it's a little note like that comes out, they will literally go ahead and publish it, and it's just like, oh, it's news. And so they basically, the entire article was just saying, and I scraped it up because I got nothing else to do. But the whole article was pretty much, I guess they sat down with the director and he told them that, the writer, that this is the new movie coming out. It's not a sequel to the 2009 remake. And they just leave it at that. Like, this guy didn't ask any follow-up questions about that. I guess they just moved on to whatever. But I'm like, okay, so it's not a sequel to the remake. Is it a sequel to anything else in the series? Or is it another remake? And I'm starting to lean toward it's another fucking remake. Because unless you're sequeling, Jason X or the events after Freddy vs. Jason, or if you're just going to fucking cut the series open somewhere in the middle and throw this movie in there, then what you have here is a remake. Go fuck yourself, Paramount, Jesus Christ. So, I don't know. I mean, it is supposed to be in the 80s. Maybe they are going to try to plan, but I don't see them doing that. I don't see them being that creative to, like, actually add this to the mythology. I think they're just going to, I think they're rebooting it. I really think this is going to be a fucking reboot. They won't call it that. They'll do their best to be like, nah. They'll deny what it is, or it's not a sequel. Nah. It's a standalone, on its own, fucking, you don't have to see the series. You can just, it's just Jason. It's, we're kind of just, we're showing the camp, and kids are showing up getting killed, and it's just something, it's, it's completely different than we've seen before, but it's the same setting, same location, same storyline. We're not calling it a remake, it's not a reboot, it's not reimagining, it's not reworking, it's not retooling, it's just, it's no, fuck yourself, you're making a remake and you are, you cocksuckers. Now, the way a sequel should be done, or, a series, they're, announced last week, The Legend of Conan. And of course, we all know that's going to be a sequel to the previous 2 Conan movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Which I think is kind of funny because it's almost like they did the remake route. It just would. And I can't say if it sucked or not. From what I understand, it's just very mediocre. Like, just very forgettable. Like, almost like I forgot there was like, oh yeah, there was a remake, wasn't there? Apparently everybody else forgot the remake too. Because instead of making a sequel to that, they are literally just doing... They're finishing the trilogy. Well, I can't remember what came first. Like, you had Conan the Barbarian and then Conan the Destroyer, or was it the other way around? Doesn't matter, but this is Legend of Conan, so... And they're promising it's going to be a good old solid R rating. So, yeah. Which I'm not going to lie, I was a little worried about that. Because I can't remember if the remake was PG-13 or not, but you're just like, really? He's a fucking barbarian. Barbarians don't give a shit about ratings. They're just raping, pillaging, and killing. Apparently not in that last one. So, yeah, Legend of Conan. Look forward. I kind of hope, like, Arnold does, like, a lot of these, like, sequels to his old movies. Like, I don't care how ridiculous it may be, but, like, I would love to see another chapter in The Running Man. Like, even though the show would be gone, just the character of, you know, Ben Richards, you know. And why not? He's doing Terminator. He's doing this one. What about Commando? What about Predator? Let's bring Dutch back to the Predator series. I would love to see that. One man's wish, I guess. Of course, you guys already know this one. This was some pretty big news. This is actually the big news before the Petsy Bomber story. But Rick Baker last week was putting his stuff up on auction. And then like a day before the auction, which I guess the auction was like Friday or something like that, he announced that he was retired from the game. Which, when I first read it, I was like, that kind of sucks. But, you know, okay, understandable. And I'm like, well, I don't think he's that old. I mean, he's an older guy, clearly. But I'm like, you know, he's not really retiring old. But then they literally, like, his entire, like, statement was, like, he's getting out because he doesn't like the way the studio's working. Like, studios don't even give a shit about, you know, making things look good. They just care about cheap and easy and quick. And that's it. Like, here, get done. Quickly. Go. Boom. Okay, get back. And he goes, it's sad. And I'm like, yeah, it's like one of the saddest statements I ever made or ever read. I was like, oh, man, that is ridiculous. Like, that's what Hollywood's all about now. I mean, it's not like what they're all about now. They've been like that forever. But I guess it's just sad because, I mean, I guess at one point, you know, we dealing with these special effects, like, you know, in a higher regard now. It's like, well, then fucking just get us some CGI blood and splashing around like a cartoon. And, yeah, it's good enough. So yeah, Rick Baker, he's leaving. He didn't really say he's retiring fully. I mean, he said, like, he may do a project here or there. But as far as him working full time, no, that's gone now. So Mr. Baker, you'll be missed. They're making a remake. Do we really need a remake of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? So I'm just gonna move past that. I'm not even gonna acknowledge that with any more fucking elaboration. David Lynch is set to direct all 18 episodes of the Twin Peaks season 3, which is fucking awesome. And I'm not just saying this because I'm sucking Lynch off. Because don't get me wrong, I am completely sucking Lynch off. Like, I love David Lynch. And I'm not just saying it because of this, though. I mean, this is fucking true. I remember watching the very first, or I guess the 2 seasons, and it just seemed like, especially after, like, don't get me wrong, I mean, season 1's pretty tightly done, but it seemed like after you find out, spoiler fucking alert if you have not seen it, I won't spoil it. There actually may be someone out there who hasn't seen it yet, so I ain't gonna say that. I'm sure you guys already know, but, you know, after you find out who, you know, who killed Laura, it's like, it just drops off. Like, there's just, and like literally season 2 I thought was so fucking dull and boring. And it wasn't until the end, you know, it kicked back. But like from what I understand, like Lynch kind of like disappeared for a little bit. Like he had another thing going on. And you can just tell. And even like the previous, like I said, season 1's pretty solid all the way through. But there are certain episodes that he directed and certain episodes he just didn't. And you just tell the ones he didn't just weren't as good. And I just remember, like, you know, as you're watching, like, I marathon watched the entire, you know, first few seasons, and this has been a while back ago, but I remember even then, though, as I'm watching it, you know, the opening credits, I'd be looking for that directed by David Lynch, because, I mean, when it was directed by David Lynch, it was a fucking solid episode. In fact, there was a scene that actually kind of scared the shit out of me. He does this, like, David Lynch just has a way of scaring you with the most mundane kind of setup. I mean, just like, and I don't even know how it works. Like, I literally, like, I mean, if anybody who's seen Twin Peaks, or anyone who hasn't, I guess, I can kind of give you a heads up, it has a very primetime soap opera-ish feel. Now, before it turns you off, just remember, it is like a David Lynch soap opera. I mean, so it's not just, I mean, now season 2 did get a little, but like season 1, I mean, it's funny because like, there would be scenes where like it would literally, like they're acknowledging the fact that this is what they are, because they would literally just show like scenes from like a soap opera on TV, and clearly you're just watching that and you're like, well, this is what, you know, there's parallels here between the two. But, and I don't remember now, because I've only seen the season once, and I mean, I dug what I watched, but it's been a while ago, but there's just an episode where, I can't remember if it was Laura, or no, wait a minute, she's dead. I guess her mom was in the living room was like that. I can't remember now, but they look up and Bob comes around the corner. And for those of you who don't know, he's the villain. And as he comes around the corner, he just comes right at the screen in slow motion. No jump scare. There was no cheap, no sound effects. Just him walking in slow motion toward the camera. I don't know what it was about that. I literally was like, holy shit. Like, it scared me. And I was on the edge the rest of the fucking episode because I was like, I don't know when the hell Bob's coming back. I don't know what it was about that. It scared the shit out of me. Like, literally scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh shit. Lynch, you motherfucker, you did it again. Because I've already explained my Mulholland Drive, jump, and I've jumped on several of his, things. He knows how to scare you without even being, like I said, it's not even a horror movie. It's not a horror series, and yet he can scare you. So, but yeah, no, he's directing all 18 episodes. That's fucking awesome. I was starting to worry that we wasn't going to see anything else by him. I mean, I don't know if he'll ever do a feature film again, which, sucks. But I also thought he was like hanging up directing altogether, but I'm glad he didn't. Excuse me. Phantom got a little bit of heartburn. So I touched on this a little bit last week because it happened like after I dropped the news, and I was like, fuck, I went a whole week. I was like, I can't do it. By now we all know, the whole storyline behind that, which really pisses me off to no end. You guys already know this, but let me just get this off my chest a little bit. So I guess the director, and he's some Asian dude. I don't know. I can't pronounce names. I suck. I'm sorry. But, he had like a vision, I guess. And he was going to shoot in New York or whatever. And apparently, and everybody was cool with it. And I forget who had it initially because is it Warner Bros. That has it now? Yeah, it's Warner Bros. That has it now. I forget who had, or it was, I don't know. I think Warner Bros. Had it first, and then it went to New Line, who cut the budget or something. And then it goes back to Warner Brothers. And I'm like, what the fuck was that, And so I don't know if that was just their way of firing him without firing him kind of thing. There was we'll just cut his budget and send it over to New Line. Because I don't think Warner Bros. Could buy this to get to New Line. And New Line was just yeah, you're not filming what you want to film. And they cut the budget on him. And of course, he was planning on doing two movies. One movie's going to focus on the kids, and then one when they're adults. But I was just psyched, and literally I don't know. I know everybody's kind of upset about Will Poulter being Pennywise. And I mean, I'm not going back on what I said. I thought it was kind of an odd choice, but at the same time, I was like, let's see what he does. He may blow us away. And so, this dude, he quits the project, and now they're acting like they don't know what they're going to do with it, right? And now it's in question, is Will going to still have a job? Which I'm like, that's kind of shitty. I mean, the kid, clearly is probably pretty psyched to be Pennywise. Don't know why he would turn in. And so now it's does he still have a job? We don't know. Is this movie going to get made? We don't know. And as much as I am so anti-remake, this was one of those things I was looking forward to. I'm not completely anti-remake. There are occasions, and this was one of them. I was like, I would love to see a good old-fashioned R-rated fucking It. And don't get me wrong, you can't touch the miniseries. The miniseries is great. But at the same time, you read the book, and I know I'm not trying to be one of those douches you gotta read the book. No, I'm not saying that. But the book was so fucking awesome, and you're dude, with an R rating, this could have been epic, And plus, we wouldn't have that giant, ridiculous spider thing at the end, whatever. So, but no, so I don't know. It just irritates me because then you hear the reason was the reason why New Line kind of iffed out on it a little bit was because apparently Poltergeist, which I called it, fucking flop, bombed, whatever. And they're like, well, here's the thing, we were using that clown in our marketing, and then the movie bombed. I don't get it. Well, clearly it's clowns, so we don't want to do another, horror movie of the clown. Are you fucking kidding me? No, your movie bombed because it was a piece of shit. It was a fucking pile of dog turd, and everybody knew it was. And the thing is, people were actually pseudo excited. Even though a lot of people had doubts going into it, you had people who were like, I'll give it a chance, I like the original. Now, I personally didn't care for the original, and I just smell shit from a mile away. I guess it was like shit. It is exactly what I said it was going to be. Just a forgettable fucking mess. And that's exactly what it was. It was just kind of garbage, and then now it's forgotten garbage. Unfortunately, it fucked it up for it. And I don't know, it just kind of irritates me even more. It really does. And I get it. I get it. Producers aren't there to make art. They're there for money. I get it. Studios aren't there to provide entertainment for us. At the end of the day, they're just there to make some money themselves. That's it. I get it. Okay, I know this is how the world works. But Jesus Christ, every now and then, just throw somebody a fucking bone. Let an artist, create. I mean, seriously, if this guy would have done his, shooting on location in New York, would it really have killed everything? Would have, sunk the company? Probably not. Jesus Christ. I mean, is Warner Bros. Or New Line or whoever the fuck, made this decision, are they hurting that bad? I doubt it. I fucking doubt it. If you keep producing shit like Poltergeist, guess what? I hope you do sink. Just saying. If the fam sounds a little bitter, it's because I am. So yeah. Where's the future of it? We don't know. We just don't know. So hopefully, we'll have something soon. So, Lee Wendell, the director of Insidious Chapter 3, and of course the I'm gonna say the collaborator with James Wan, because they've done like everything together almost. They did a big interview with him on I think it was ShockToYouDropped.com. Anyways, so they were interviewing him, and the one thing I was more interested about, because I don't get me wrong, it was a really fascinating interview. If you get a chance, check it out. But the one thing I was really looking for is like, okay, what about Saw? Like I know everybody's like Saw, like there's no Saw sequels. Like no one ever says the word sequel. They're already saying reboot. And I'm like, did no one watch the final chapter? There's still a story to be told, son of a bitch. I would much rather see that story of like these fucking, like a shitload of these, like, former victims who are band together or whatever, gonna cause the, that's a fucking, there's your story right there. But anyways, they talked to him, and it's funny because he was just like, no, like he goes, there's no plans at all. Like, there's no Saw at all in progress. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that right now. Like, literally, like, I don't want to say a reboot of something that's already, happened so recently. I'm just waiting for them to do like a reboot to fucking Paranormal Activity. Like, might as well. It's like, the first one came out in 2004, so fuck it. It's over 10 years. Let's just remake it. No, there's still maybe on Paranormal Activity. That story's kind of already gone. But like, the first one, Saw, there's still a story you can tell. It's like they're embarrassed that they, you get to a certain number and they quit like using the actual number. They just start like putting like a little subtitle. It's like they're embarrassed to even be like, oh yeah, we're Part 8 is Part 8. No, come on, let's do it. So, but there's no Saw in progress right now. So, saw the trailer for Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Once again, wasn't much at all. They're cranking these teasers out that they're not really showing a whole lot, but still pumped, still get excited. In fact, it's like, anybody who stayed around for that end credit, or the end post-credit clip after the remake, and it was just Bruce Campbell saying groovy, and which to me was the best thing in the entire movie. It's kind of the same thing. Like he just, it's just you hear the chainsaw revving, and you just see close up the chainsaw, and he says whatever, and you're just like, that's all I need. Like, that's exactly it. Like they know how to tease you, I guess, and it's working. But so hope that'll be coming out soon. And finally, it's not really news, but I really dug this video. Forever everybody's been talking about how like Wes Anderson. Really kind of get, he uses a lot of the, his style is very Kubrick influenced. He definitely uses a lot of shots, long tracking shots, wide shots like that. Just the very Kubrick feel, and not just him either. Like P.T. Anderson does too. Wes Anderson, or not Wes Anderson, sorry, Paul W.S. Anderson. Maybe you should take a cue from these two guys. Like these two Andersons know what they're doing. They, Anyways, sorry, Paul, I love you. You did Resident Evil. I'm okay. Anyways, so this dude on YouTube went ahead and he did like I won't say a mashup, but see, when you say mashup, it kind of gives that like roughly thrown together image, and it's not. They did a mashup of the Grand Budapest Hotel and The Shining, and they called it the Grand Overlook Hotel, and it was just a comical trailer of them together, and dude, like, it's so flawless because like it literally they do have that. It's like such a same like directing style that it looks like it could be the same fucking movie. Like it literally does. And I've never seen Grand Budapest Hotel. Honestly, not my kind of movie. But when you watch this trailer, it turns The Shining into like kind of a lighthearted affair, and I liked it. So you get a chance that it's the. Excuse me. Heartburn like a motherfucker over here. The clip is or the video on YouTube is called Wes Anderson's Shining, or The Shining. So check it out. Tell me what you think. So all right, guys, that's all I got. Of course, you got any, you want to talk about any of these news, items? Hit me down below, or hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. So that's all I got. I am the Movie Fan.